We got some
Joining
fun.
us in studio, Dr. Jonathan Tripp. And, hard to believe, but we have been doing this a little over a year now, Better Health with Tripp Family Medicine. I guess we're making the Magic Valley better. In fact, well, he's got people who drive from Elko that come to the office. So not just the Magic Valley, but we're talking likely 3 states we're making healthier by doing this segment on a weekly basis. First of all, it's been a quick year, hasn't it?
It has. In fact, where we are right now today is about 4 days away from our fourth anniversary as an office. So it's a little hard to believe. In the first year, it just seemed like it would take forever to build, and now in the last year just kind of flew by, and we're already halfway through April this year, and it's amazing how quickly things go when you're busy.
When you decided to hang out the shingle and you and your wife made this decision, it's not an easy decision to make because you just don't know who's going to be there and how long it's going to take to attract patients. But gosh, with the growth of this valley, you've really grown along with it.
Yeah, in fact, you know, I won't go back through the struggles of the beginning because there's a lot, but we're very blessed to be where we are and now have what I'd say is a substantial presence for the Magic Valley. But what's really happened, in fact, I attended the Twin Falls State of the City address yesterday, and one of the council members was saying that they are seeing unprecedented growth for the Magic Valley, and they did not give a time frame, but I assume that since, you know, our recession in 2008, so that we're not talking about the last 20 years. And they talked about how for, 50 or 100 years it's been flat, stagnant, and, there was some growth prior to the recession, and that was, where things started to get more developed. But just in the last year or two, I think they're seeing a big boom. And so, with that, we have to try to keep our small town feel and be aware of what's going on, but at the same time, you know, plan to see more people because Twin Falls is a great place and the Magic Valley is a great place to live.
I know when you get to your office, you're only a couple of blocks away on Fillmore Street from Pole Line Road. If you hang left turn and you go down Pole Line West, there are miles and miles and miles of new developments,
Yeah.
and so there's a lot of people there who are moving here who simply do not have a physician or somebody to see on a regular basis when it comes to their own care.
Well, and we are happy to we're taking new patients. We always are. And I had a great compliment given to me by one of the attendees at this uh, meeting yesterday that they had referred somebody, and I recognized the name. And later last night, I realized who that was, and I actually called him back and said, thank you so much because it was a patient that I really thought, wow, this is the kind of patient and family I want in our practice. And so, that was a huge compliment. And his response was, well, I'm always trying to send people to good doctors. So, at least in his mind, I'm a good doctor.
But the growth too is not just you; it's the fact that you have 3 other medical professionals now
Exactly.
working in the same office. So, someone walking through the door, there's someone they can see right away.
Yeah, and these are fantastic practitioners. I have two young men. I'll call them young men because I'm a little older.
Yeah.
Uh, that are physician assistants. That's Russell Singleton, who's been with us since pretty much the beginning, and Jeremy Daly, who's been here only since October, but is already stealing, I'll say, some of my patients that I thought wouldn't see anybody but me. But they're great personalities. They're very smart. And then we have a part-time nurse practitioner, Crystal King, who just brings a great face and a great female feel to the office, and it really is a fun place to be. And so, in celebration of making it to the 4 years, we're just going to have some fun today. We're going to do some trivia questions, and we're going to do giveaways. And the giveaways are a favorite item that I put our logo on. It's an ice cream scoop, and that's because of my own background with my grandparents being in the dairy industry, and ice cream was always a big part of our family heritage. So that's one. Or another option is because of my cosmetic background, we're offering a cosmetic treatment called micro resurfacing, which is normally about a $7,500 treatment. It's a lot of fun and it doesn't hurt. And so, if that's a preference to you, I want you to call in. We're going to ask questions, and then we'll have you call our office to give them your name and phone number, and then we'll have you come to the office to pick up those prizes.
Speaking of that, since we've got about a minute before our first break, the office easy to find, easy to contact, right?
Yeah, it's on Fillmore Street across from the North Post Office. And our phone number is 933 4400. You can find us on Facebook at Tripp Family Medicine. and on our website at trippfamilymedicine.com. Remember that number, 933-4400, because that's the number I'm going to ask you to call so you can claim those prizes. So after we come back, we'll start asking questions. So I would advise you call in now, and we will just ask you the question online.
And we got to point out, Jeremy was saying there's going to be some changes made to the website and the like too as well.
Yeah, we're in the process of changing the website. Mostly it's functionality. We like how it looks, but there's a lot of things that you'll be able to link to and connect with and pull up our, the past radio shows we've done and other advertisements or links that we think are important for health.
I was going to say it's a great resource for people out there, so check that out if you get a chance. We've got more coming up. Dr. Jonathan Tripp in studio with us, Better Health with Tripp Family Medicine. Joining me, this is the anniversary show, in fact, that we've been doing this just a little over a year here at News Radio 1310, KLIX, and newsradio1310.com. And I, Bill Colley, will be answering the telephones so that you can chat with the doctor in the next segment of the program. Our studio guest, Dr. Jonathan Tripp, joins us on Wednesdays. Well, a couple of Wednesdays every month. Other times, some of the other medical professionals from Tripp Family Medicine here in Twin Falls are in studio with us for Better Health with Tripp Family Medicine on News Radio 1310 KLIX and newsradio1310.com. Telephone number to reach the program this morning, 736-0300, 736-0300. And the doctor has some trivia questions this morning. And doctor, we have a caller with us on the line right away. So caller, you're on the air with the doctor.
Great. I'm ready for the question.
You're ready for the question. All right. Here's one of my fun ones to begin with. How many dairy cows are in the Magic Valley?
Oh, good grief.
Take a guess.
I would say close to 500,000, I'd say.
Woo, that's awesome because the last count that we have is 528,000, so 500,000 is perfect. So you win.
And he needs to call the office.
Yeah,
now.
And so you choose. We can do the micro resurfacing and make you look, 10 years younger in one day. That's not quite true. Or the ice cream scoop. And so just call our office. That's 933-4400. And they will get you connected with that. Thanks for calling.
Thank you so much.
I want to thank him as well. What a great guess that was.
Perfect.
Almost spot on to the number.
He must have known somebody at my office.
We have another caller with us. Caller, you're up next, and you're on the air with Dr. Tripp.
Thank you, Bill.
You ready for a question?
I am.
All right. This is going back a ways, so I wouldn't have known this. But there was a popular row of poplar trees as you drove into Twin Falls, I guess across near the Perrine Bridge. And what was the name of the farm that those poplar trees lined?
I have no clue.
I think it's the area where there is the new development along the rim of the canyon, so on the west side of Blue Lakes as you come in. So that was a big farm area. Yes. Do you know that one, Bill?
No, you got me. I think I live on that land.
And I would not have known this, but
I've only been here about 8 or 9 years. So.
Yep, the Breckenridge Farm.
Breckenridge.
But guess what? You can still call our office and win. So thanks for calling. The number is 933-4400, and you just tell them which of the two prizes you want to have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Want to thank you for the call. That whole area has been so developed. Of course, that's where your customer base is, your patient base probably now. But a lot of people, you're right, if they're relative newcomers, may not know the history of that end of town.
No, and I learned that as we put together these questions. So I'm not surprised that the caller didn't know either.
But you know what? And the doctor actually generally knows everything.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we've all experienced that. You go to the doctor's office, and it's truly amazing, though, the doctor, because of the intellectual boot camp called medical school, the things you come out of there knowing not just about medicine often will set a patient back. They're so surprised to hear some of these things.
Well, and I give a lot of credit to patients teaching me. So with a little bit of experience over time, there are a lot of ideas I give to patients that really came from other patients.
That ice cream scoop, I have one of those. I need to point out, it is about as heavy duty an ice cream scoop as you can get. It will not bend like some brands you might buy at a big box store.
No.
It's a nice wooden handle.
This is meant to stay for years. In fact, where we got the idea was I have an uncle who's a podiatrist that would give this out as a thank you gift for referring patients. And we had that scoop, which looks a lot like the one we'd have, probably for 15 years. So this is meant to hang around.
We have another telephone caller joining us this morning. And caller, you're on the air on Better Health with Tripp Family Medicine. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Well, I'm going to give you a little lead-in question. How long have you been in the Magic Valley?
15 years.
All right, so let's see if you know this one. What in the Magic Valley? What are the drops?
What are they in now?
You say you don't know?
No, I didn't say what you said.
Oh, the question is in the Magic Valley. What are called the drops?
The drops. I would don't know for sure, but I guess it's probably the cliff area.
Okay, good guess. It's actually a canal up north of Shoshone that I guess
Oh,
maybe that's not technically Magic Valley, but it's one of the favorite recreational spots that is basically a canal. You jump in and go down to the other end, get out, and come back and do it again. It's
oh, okay.
one of my favorite activities before I even moved here. We learned about that through my sister who lived here before we did.
Oh, okay.
Well, you're still welcome to call at our office because everybody that calls in to the radio show is a winner. So call
Oh,
933-4400 and just tell them, do you want the ice cream scoop or do you want to get a facial treatment called micro resurfacing?
okay. Thank you very much.
Sure thing.
Want to thank him for the call. Yeah, I just learned about the drops myself yesterday because Nate Bird was talking about the experience of going there. And we have two new fellows in the office, and he was trying to tell them about how exciting it was. And I just happened to be walking through the room, and I had to stop and listen to the story. So, yes, one of the more unique spots here in Idaho.
It is hilarious. It's when I got there one time when there was a lady who's about 65, had about an 18-month-old grandchild with her that she was throwing in with a life jacket on. And I asked her, do you feel really safe about doing that? And she says, oh, I've been coming here since I was 3. So apparently she was pretty used to it. So it's been around a while.
We have another question, and I'll just pass along to callers. If you'd like to reach the show today, Dr. Jonathan Tripp is in studio with us. We've got 45 at almost 10 minutes away from 9 o'clock. And, of course, you can reach News Radio 1310 KLIX and newsradio1310.com and Top Story as well at 736-0300. That's 736-0300. And, Doctor, we have another caller. Caller, you're on the air.
Good morning. I'd like to thank the doctor for all his information over the phone. He's been very helpful.
Well, great. I don't know when that was, but we definitely make a lot of phone calls.
Yes, you do. A lot of it had to do with natural herbs, turmeric, and things like that.
Okay. No, that's those are things that I'm pretty comfortable talking about as well as traditional medicine. Well, let me ask you a question. Here's a hard one. Actually, it should be easy if you can think back how you drive, but along pole line on the north side of town, how many stoplights are on Pole Line Road now?
Ooh.
I'll let you.
There's tow line, and then there's two others.
There's Pole Line, going east and
there's
west.
There's a stoplight at Pole Line in Blue Lakes. There's a stoplight. There's two other stoplights after that.
Okay. I'll actually, you'll be surprised. If you go over towards the mall where the theaters are, Bridgeview Road is one. Blue Lakes, like you said, is another. Fillmore has another. Washington has another. Now out towards the hospital, there's Parkview and Grandview. So there's a total of 6 now. So,
my goodness. Okay.
So
thank you for enlightening me.
You're welcome, and you're welcome to call the office and you tell them whether you want an ice cream scoop or a micro resurfacing for your face.
Thank you.
Do you have that number? It's 933-4400. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Want to thank him for the call. Another caller joining us. You're up next at 8:52 with Dr. Jonathan Tripp on KLIX.
All right.
It sounds like we only got the men's show today, so if women need to call in, they should. But any case, let's see. Here's one that maybe you'll know. In the Magic Valley, what % of commercial trout is farmed here in the Magic Valley?
I'm going to go with 65%.
Yeah, it's a pretty high number. It's actually 85. And
wow.
Isn't that amazing? We're kind of a, quote, small area, but we produce 85% of commercially sold trout in the U.S.
Wow.
And probably in the world. I don't know about that, but for sure in the U.S. So welcome to give a call to the office at 933-4400. Ice cream scoop or micro resurfacing, you tell them. Okay?
All right.
Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Want to thank him for the telephone call. And, the folks listening this morning, the previous caller alluded to this, that there's a lot of good information he's picked up on the show, because I think in the course of a year's time, we must have covered at least 3 to 4 dozen really big topics
Yeah,
coming to, and everything from skin. We talked about rashes and the like a couple of weeks ago, but we've talked about heart issues. We've talked about cancer. We've talked about people's feet. I mean,
yeah.
we've had a long.
Nutrition, weight loss. I mean, it's hard for me to say, well, what's a new topic? Because usually, we're going back to the basics, which is a big part of what our practice does. Is, we want preventative care. We want to be easy, basic, inexpensive if we can. In fact, that's what I tell people about medicines. If I use a medicine, I like old because it's well understood. I like effective, and I like cheap. So that usually fits a lot of people coming into my office.
In this day and age, because cheap is not normally associated with
No,
medicine any
it is
longer.
not. And there's some new medicines that I absolutely love, and they're horrendously expensive, but we figure out ways to make that happen too.
We want to point out, if you'd like to reach Dr. Tripp this morning, Better Health with Tripp Family Medicine at News Radio 1310 KLIX and newsradio1310.com. The telephone number is 736 0300. 736 0300. Can I also add on the ice cream scoops? And I also have one of the magnets too at home.
Yeah,
But the whole idea of this is, if someone needs to call quickly, they have the numbers available
sure.
on these things, the magnets and the scoops and the like. So if they're busy in the kitchen and they suddenly feel some back pain, they think somebody needs to check it out, they can just look at the magnet hanging on the refrigerator, dial the number, and do business at that point.
Yeah, in fact, I didn't even bring up the magnets. Actually, a chip clip that has a nice strong magnet for your fridge, and we went out of our way to make sure the spring was better than average, the magnet was better than average, so it'll last a long time too. But if you decide you'd rather have that than the ice cream scoop or the micro resurfacing, you're welcome to do that as one of our call-ins.
I have a cat who gets on top of the refrigerator and likes to reach down and swipe at that magnet. So
I didn't realize it was a cat toy, but that's good. Well, I'm going to throw out a question and then ask anybody to call in. What is the name of the annual football game now between Canyon Ridge High School and Twin Falls High School?
Ooh.
So that's one for people that are, that have had kids recently or have teenagers now. And, you don't have to have lived here for a long time because Canyon Ridge has only been around about, I think, 6 years, 7 years.
736 0300. And we should point out you have a physician assistant at the office who was a high school football player.
That's true. Russell Singleton. In fact, I'd have to probe more into Jeremy's background, but he looks like he could have done that as well. But Russell definitely
Yeah, Russell
played
looks like he was
played a
the
lot of
speed
football.
guy running down the sidelines catching passes.
Well, and I think he played fullback as well. So
Wow.
he's played a lot, and I think he even played in for a year in a semi-pro group. So he's no slouch among football players.
We have a caller with us. Caller, you're on the air with Dr. Tripp.
Is the name the Service Bowl?
It is. That's awesome. Good call.
Thank you.
So you got that phone number to call? It's 933-4400. And
All right.
you just tell them which of those gifts you want to get, and they'll get you hooked up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's pretty good. I mean,
It
as you mentioned, of course, if you're a parent who has kids going to school, that you'll know that.
Yeah.
And
Especially if your kids play football.
that becomes a big rivalry just simply because it's inner city.
It is. It's a lot of fun. There's lots of things that go on around that, posters, and traditionally we've had I can't remember the name of it, but basically it's a cow patty raffle that, depending on where the cow poops is who wins the raffle. It's a lot of fun that way too. So let me ask you another one. This is a little bit more, can be anybody that's been around a while. Name the date that Evel Knievel attempted to jump the canyon.
I only know that because of my experience. I was
And
he
no
was such a
no fair
hero.
Googling when you call. I want to see if you really know.
736-0300, and they can't have the time to Google. We've only got about a minute left. 736-0300. If you know that the date, I could even give you the month and the year too. But
There you
if
go.
someone knows that, they can give us a shout in a moment. Not too far away from your office where that event took place as well.
No, that's just along the canyon on the other side of Blue Lakes, not too far away.
I also remember that's about the same time that Gerald R. Ford. Well, we'll get a show for another day, I suppose. Caller with us. Caller, you're on the air.
Was it September 3rd, 1975?
Wow, you're really close. It's
Oh,
it's the 8th of September '74, but that's close enough. Do you
oh,
want
for crying out loud. Okay.
to give the office a call? It's 933-4400, And I will tell you, if you have any interest in cosmetics, that micro resurfacing treatment is really nice stuff. But the ice cream scoop is what stays in your drawer.
Okay, so I'll give them a call.
All
Thank
right,
you.
thanks.
Yeah, bye.
Want to thank her much for the call. This has been a lot of fun today. We've got to do it again sometime.
Yeah, this is all for fun. I love, I didn't have to prepare real hard on this one.
I know somebody that you work with worked with Evil Knievel as well, and during the reunion, and we will see something similar to that happen again, as I understand. There's a big Facebook presence out there. But Doctor, we thank you for coming in, and we look forward to talking to either you or one of the PAs next week.
I think so, and my pleasure. And remember, we're taking new patients.
8:58. Got one more hour of Top Story ahead with Bill Colley right here on News Radio 1310 KLIX, newsradio1310.com. I believe we'll be talking a little expansion at City Hall.